a cartwheel. No, this ain't right. No, there's gotta be more than the rat race. Gotta be more. Who said we were lost in the first place? What makes them sure? Never been here before, so I'll never be the girl that I was. See, I'll never use the past as a crutch. Seems like right now might really be all that I got. Currency right now is my dreams, my love, my art. Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Just live with me. All I wanna do is, I'm just saying, all I'm trying to do is live, yeah. With all fear, self-doubt, and self-deprecate. With a heart on my sleeve and a dream to chase. In a world, in a wood, in another time. Deep breath, fresh air, and a crystal sky. And a faithful guy on an open mic. Or with the spotlight on and the bass up bright. Is it too much to ask for in this lifetime? Oh, I believe there's more than these city walls. I got wings, so I hardly fly. Say the bird's eye view so beautiful, but you won't get there until you take flight. Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Just live with me. All I wanna do is, I'm just saying, all I'm trying to do is live. Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Just live with me. All I wanna do is, I'm just saying, all I'm trying to do. Running round on a treadmill, this ain't life. Turn around like a cartwheel. No, this ain't right. No, there's gotta be more than the rat race. Gotta be more. Who said we were lost in the first place? What makes them sure? Never been here before, so I'll never be the girl that I was. See, I'll never use the past as a crutch. Seems like right now might really be all that I got. Currency right now is my dreams, my love, my art. Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Just live with me. All I wanna do is, I'm just saying, all I'm trying to do is live, yeah. With all fear, self-doubt, and self-deprecate. With a heart on my sleeve and a dream to chase. In a world, in a wood, in another time. Deep breath, fresh air, and a crystal sky. And a faithful guy on an open mic. Or with the spotlight on and the bass up bright. Is it too much to ask for in this lifetime? Oh, I believe there's more than these city walls. I got wings, so I hardly fly. Say the bird's eye view so beautiful, but you won't get there until you take flight. Can I live? Can I live? there's gotta be more than the rat race. Gotta be more. Who said we were lost in the first place? What makes them sure? Never been here before, so I'll never be the girl that I was. See, I'll never use the past as a crutch. Seems like right now might really be all that I got. Currency right now is my dreams, my love, my art. Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Just live with me. All I wanna do is, I'm just saying, all I'm trying to do is live, yeah. Love, fear, self-doubt, and self-deprecate. With a heart on my sleeve and a dream to chase. In a world, in a wood, in another time. Deep breath, fresh air, and a crystal sky. And a faithful guy on an open mic. Or with the spotlight on and the bass up bright. Is it too much to ask for in this lifetime? Oh, I believe there's more than these city walls. I got wings so I hardly fly. Say the birds I feel so beautiful, but you won't get there until you take flight. Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Just live with me. All I wanna do is, I'm just saying, all I'm trying to do is live. Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Just live with me. All I wanna do is, I'm just saying, all I'm trying to do is. Running round on a treadmill. This ain't life. Turn around like a cartwheel. No, this ain't right. No, there's gotta be more than the rat race. Gotta be more. Who said we were lost in the first place? What makes them sure? Never been here before, so I'll never be the girl that I was. See, I'll never use the past as a crutch.
Enough electoral votes, more than 270, more than enough to become the 44th President of the United States. He will be the first African-American President of the United States.
I've been broke all my life, but I kept hope all them nights. You see business in my city? Yeah, they closed all them twice. I was just riding down Salem, all them damn potholes, I can't drive. I know y'all can fix it faster, but I know y'all won't try. Don't nobody care about us, and that's why I don't vote. Voted for Obama back in 2012, I remember that's when I had hope. He was saying, yes, we can, and everybody got less food stamps. And when I turned 21, I was still broke, I'd never vote again. I don't think I ever had a president make my life better. Did it all on my own, ain't no politician ever do a nice gesture. I don't even know the mayor's name, I ain't never seen her one time ever. Tell me how she gonna help the city, when I'm supposed to do write letters, when I'm supposed to do blame Trump. He ain't never really gave a ain't nobody raised minimum wage. None of these jobs pay enough. I think they just wanna keep us broke, cause they ain't putting none in place for us. This how all my people feel, but we gotta learn, we complained enough, let me change it up. Everything I just said, everybody I know think the same way. See, they don't wanna see us vote, and we never do, so we see the same thing. But all our votes really do count, and they'll never really let it show. So now I'm finna break it down, cause if I don't, you would probably never know. First thing first, you know back in middle school when they taught us, it was 3 branches of the government. We forgot it when we got older. It's the judicial, the legislative and executive. But all we know is the executive. That's the mayor or the governor and the president. Now none of them three people make no laws, they just be checking them. The laws come to their desk and all they do is say no or yes to it. So when the news station tried to tell us that Barack Obama couldn't put us on, we was all salty at Obama when it was the Congress members all along. We gotta focus on the legislative branch, yeah, they the ones that make the laws. Yeah, they the ones write how much food stamp money you get on the card. But when people that wanted to help us wanted the job, I know they probably lost. Cause we ain't even know their name, we ain't know their face, we ain't know it all. So the Congress or the State House, that's legislative, they make laws. So what we want from the president is what they do, okay y'all? See, they election every 2 years, but we don't ever even go to those. The Congress, they can raise minimum wage, but we ain't even really know it though. So you know how back in 08, when we all voted for Obama, we was all supposed to go back in 2010 and vote for the Congress. Cause they the ones make child support laws, they the ones choose if your kids at school get to eat steak or corn dogs. The State House make the court costs. So if the country failed, then you can't say it's them, it's your fault. Cause y'all ain't know to vote for Congress members that was for y'all. And they don't gotta leave after 4 years, and we just let them sit. See, they don't wanna tell you this, they want you to focus on the president. Now the third branch is the judicial, that's judges. They the reason why John Crawford and Trayvon ain't had justice. So when Meek Mill got locked up just for popping willies, we blame the judge and not the city when they let her get voted in, cause they ain't know who to vote against. Imagine life on the other side. Roads better, schools better, everybody get their license back. Grocery store food better, custody of your kids back. Homeless people get new shelters. If we gon' fix the U.S., we gotta start with them 2 letters, me and you. Somebody told us that the government wanna keep us broke, but the only reason why those people in the government is cause we ain't vote. And I ain't talking about the president, I'm talking about the ones we ain't know. See, they was gonna try to keep it low, but it's gonna hurt them when they see the pros.
Every time you stay home, someone is making a decision about you, making decisions about the air you breathe, the water you drink, the food your kids eat, and how much money you bring home every 2 weeks. So every time you sit out an election, every time you don't show up because you think it doesn't matter, someone else is happy that you didn't show up, so they can make that decision for you. Vote.
They say life is what you make it, but I'm a legend in the making. I know just what I'm made of. They say life is what you make it, yeah, but I'm a legend in the making, yeah. I know just what I'm made of, yeah.
Whew, I'm just saying. So wonderful to be here. Whew, I'm laughing. Let me get it out, Denise. Let me get it out, please. You know why I'm laughing. You know why. But first, we're going to take a moment, and I'm going to do what I need to do. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Beautiful. Only reason I'm saying it's a beautiful day is because even though we got all the, with the fires, there's a lot of ash and it's looking kind of cloudy and it's looking crazy. In California, we're going through a lot right now. We really are, but brighter days ahead. The thing about it is, though, it's still that if you know what we know, you should be kind of feeling some joy inside. If you just are tuning in, and if you're not, go tune in. If you got to the point where you felt dismay and you wanted to shut it down, go push yourself back in right now, because it's some things going on. Thank you. Yes. Get used to this face, Mrs. Denise Minns Harris, because why? She's going to help you get through these last, 50 some days we have, probably under 50 now, but help us get through it in the best way with the best knowledge that she can provide. And when I say she knows. And when we say, y'all may not know about this, but they had the saying that you say when they say you're in good hands with Allstate. you can fact check the fact checker because she got her facts. They right. So what we're doing is that I'm bringing her because I know when you fact check this woman, it's on point. So we're going to really make sure we try to give you what you need, which is knowledge and an understanding of how serious this is and what's going on. And as we say, I'm in the building. We're going to be talking. And I'm going to do some things really quick. And then me and Denise are going to have what we call intelligent, fun, but conversation for the soul. So today we're talking about jealousy and supremacy. can't take up your time because I wanted to be short explaining. I can't do Rachel. Rachel will take an hour, and I love that about her. But when she finishes, she may have took you all the way around that tree, maybe twice. But you'll know what kind of tree it is, where the root came from, how it grew, when it grew, how long, and how long it may stand. And that's what I love. You know that you know when she finished. And she's not just telling you a story. Okay, so what we're doing is I had to get some insight on this. I have a few definitions. The first one is, like I said, we're talking about jealousy and supremacy. When I say supremacy, yes, we're talking about white supremacy, or supreme, what it means. But I'm also going to first start with an illusion, because for me, to feel you some kind of way, I have to know how that arrived. And that's just me. But when I look at the definition as a noun, it says a false appearance or deceptive impression of reality. Okay, so now the definition says it's a false appearance or deceptive impression of reality. And I got Denise right here. She's going to break it down even more. I'm just giving some definition. I know she wait. So we're going to move forward. So if I had to give it to you in a sentence, because I want y'all to understand, it says, for delusion, he has the illusion that he's really clever. Just like white people have the illusion that they are better. So let's go there. So the funny part about it was that there were three main types of illusion. Okay, that's what got me. And one of them, and the main one starts in the brain. In the brain. And they used to tell me that it's 18 inches from heaven to hell. You know what I mean? And I didn't understand what they meant, Denise. You know what I mean? But what they were saying is 18 inches from your heart to your head. And you may think you love God and are serving God in your head, but it's what's going on with the heart. Because it says only the pure in heart shall see God. So when I see this, I say, oh, okay, it starts in the brain. That's why it proves our point that hate is taught. Because it starts here, the illusion starts here, you know. So there's three of them. Fact check me. That's just one. Now let's get to supremacy real quick. A state or condition of being superior to all others. That means you feel you have the authority and the power and the status. And no one else is better than you. No one. And funny, when I looked that word up, it says, what does supremacy of God mean? It means that the institution of the church and the state are each. And what got me was it says God is the ultimate. He's the only that is supreme. So now that makes me question some things, because if I'm a believer, or if whatever God you serve, you still serve a God or something, you know, of a higher power. And they saying that that's the only thing that is supreme. Okay, but yet we have white supremacy. They're supreme over us, Jews, all of this. It lists them, okay? Then I went to jealousy. Just wondering, just taking a chance at shooting it out here. And it was defined, it's funny because there's, you know, you got to watch jealousy too. But here's the one, it's like a envy, a resentment, a fear, a feeling that someone is better than you, smarter than you. And the one thing that got me about this emotion is it said that it's the one emotion. It is the most powerful emotion that we have. And that one word is so powerful. The emotion is so powerful, it could lead to death. It could lead to death. So Denise shaking her head, she read it. She says she don't realize she's a teacher too. Because see, we're looking at hate. But it says this trumps hate. Jealousy. It can lead to death. And what was so funny about this, then I happened to pick up an article. You know, I'm skimming, I'm zooming, I'm enjoying myself, I'm educating myself. As I'm educating you. And it says, why does Trump obsessively attack Obama? And someone in the LA Times, fact checked me, July 2020, did an article. And they asked that question. That was the title of the article. And it says, he's jealous. So I said, whoa, you know. So then they have an essay that was written that I want you guys to make sure that you make sure that we don't have time now, but I want you to make sure that you get out and you check out this essay. So
you were talking about jealousy.
Jealousy. And I did happen to look up happen to read an article, and it was saying, why does Trump obsessively attack Obama? And right away, the journalist right away said he's jealous. This was a writer at LA Times. So that kind of twirled in my head, and I thought about again what the conversation I had. And I did have a conversation with my mom about jealousy and hate and white supremacy. And of course, because of everything that is going on right now, it's like a sign of the times, even though it's been going on for over 400 years. Right. But I still, now in 2020, you're like, is hate that deep that it lasts that long through generation through generation through generation and goes on and on? And when does the river, where does it end? You know what I mean? Even the ocean, has a point. So my thing is, where does it end? And that made me want to research. And also speaking with another friend, Christina, and she was saying the illusion of white supremacy. And I thought about that. So now I've broke that down for you, Denise, and I want you and I to discuss this a little bit, because guess what else came out? Michael Cohen was on Rachel Maddow. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
And he spoke about, and we're going to show the video in a little bit, but he spoke about how obsessed that 45 was with Barack Obama.
Yeah. And
the obsession that you and I see. Now, Denise, you and I have had the lovely pleasure, thank God, of working together, because I would not have, had the blessing of you being in my life. And I mean that. But we've had the pleasure of really hanging with each other. And like anybody, we all have bumped heads. We've done things. But I want to ask you a question. And we're going to go somewhere. I'm going to piss some people off. That's why I need you here. Because you sophisticated. So you stay sophisticated. Even though they know I don't make her mad. don't rub her wrong. You hear me? But the thing is, I'm married. Mm-hmm. And you are too. And blessedly for some beautiful years. And my thing is, I don't obsess that much in my mind about my wife. And this thing, Trump, I'm about to ask you, because I can't see another man being this obsessed with a man. Now, maybe there's something more there that we don't know, that you're not telling us. Are you on my team?
Someone said that that this country still has a crush on its ex. And its ex is Barack Obama. And Trump can't get over the fact that he never got the love. He's quoted as talking in private about why doesn't he get more love from Black people after all he imagines he's done for Black people. It's really delusional. But when we talk about Trump, which is a very separate discussion from white supremacy, there are too many noted mental health professionals that have already said his narcissism is at a level of mental illness. We're not dealing with a stable person, and we don't talk about that enough. We don't like to talk about it because it's too frightening. But one of the things that came out in the book Rage by Woodward is that the general who was the head of the DNI would sleep in his clothing, terrified that Trump was going to start a nuclear war and he would have to jump up and intervene. So what is fascinating about Trump, I've never seen the parade of people who, once they leave his administration, write these books of warning of how dangerous this man is. So there's white supremacy, and then there's Trump. That's a mentally ill person, in my opinion. And quite frankly, the opinion of people who have assessed him and have the training and skills to come with the right conclusion. White supremacy You know, I've watched the videos of these folks and their gatherings and Confederate flags and a Confederate flag of a country that never existed except in their dreams. And one of the fallacies that they promote is that they built this country. We built this country.
Yes.
We built this country unwillingly under enslavement. We built this country, and we continue to build this country after slavery. The whole Black Lives Matter movement is a call of recognition and a great threat to white privilege, which is more subtle than white supremacy. White privilege is when a young Black boy is being followed and then his white friend tells the people he's okay. That's white privilege. It's much more subtle. It's an ingrained belief of entitlement based on being white. And they experience it all the time. I experience it. I experience it when I say something in a certain kind of environment and is questioned the validity of it until someone white co-signs it. Then that information is better trusted. It's very subtle. It's very subtle. But the whole Black Lives Movement, which right now nationwide has 52% support, up from the low 30s, quite frankly. And while it has taken a 9-point dip among people who call themselves Republican, the fact that it's up there to even have a 9-point dip is worth noting. And the Trumpers were on Twitter with all that's come out about how he consciously has co-signed the death certificates of 200,000 Americans that didn't need to die. And so they asked the people who support Trump on Twitter, how are you handling the news? They said, we're not watching it anymore. They all chimed in and said, we don't watch the news anymore. That's the only way they can hold on to the lie.
Wow.
Lie of white supremacy. And the other thing is, that's very nice, and I know I'm jumping right now, but when you have elections, what's important is that the person at the top of the ticket has what they call coattails. Coattails mean the people who are running down ticket can grab their coattails and ride to victory. Biden has coattails. Biden has coattails in all the polls. So even candidates who were not quite in the winning circle, since Biden, they're moving up and pushing through. And to take over the Senate, I wrote it down, we only need 4 seats. We have 12 that are in danger of Democrats taking it from Republicans, and 3 that the Democrats running is so high in the polls, it's a wash. So I think we're getting ready to have some major transitions in this country on a lot of levels. Socially, in terms of, because one thing we learned from Obama's win is that it doesn't matter if the president is progressive, if the chief of police is like Bull Connor. It's got to be up and down at every level. So white supremacy, it's not going anywhere. It's not going away. It's not. But what we can do is make it unpopular again.
Got you. That was smartly said. So what we can do is just, when you say make it unpopular again, break that down for me.
Well, since Trump's election, this whole phenomena of the Karens, that a young lady's in her college lounge studying, and she feels she has a right to call the police and question her right to be there, or the guy having a cup of coffee in Starbucks. And they feel they have the right, or people having a barbecue. This empowerment that I can weaponize the police force. Now, states are passing laws. So far, 3 states, California has the bill up right now, have passed laws that you can be fined and go to jail for up to a year, making a false call for the police when it's racially biased, like the chick in Central Park. Now, New York has a law. If you call trying to use the police as a weapon against an innocent Black person, you can be arrested yourself and go to jail.
And should be, because you just said it. You're using the police as a weapon, because you already know if you make that call and there's a white man on the premise or in the area, in the vicinity, if there's a Black man, rather, Black, in the vicinity, you know pretty much how it may go down.
Absolutely.
You know, so you definitely, that's almost being accessory to a crime.
And absolutely. And I think this push now, I wish, words are so important. And this whole concept of defund the police, that word defund is the wrong word, because we're not talking about defund. We're talking about reappropriate the funds.
Say it again, please. When you say something that important, when I tell you to repeat it, because see, this fake news and fake information and feeding fake shit, and I said it, and all of this is what's harming us right now. Do you get what I mean? Biden made a statement that made sense. He said when they were talking about protesters, any violence, anyone that is committing any violence and heinous crimes need to be prosecuted. Right away, someone jumped in and said, okay, you already trying to work that law you wrote years ago. And we won't go there, because you and I both know this was, they're talking about the bill. 1990 crime bill.
Crime bill, yeah.
Yeah, but that's the crime bill that all the Black ministers, preachers, that's what I want to say, churches, people involved that were sick of young, innocent children, 4 or 5, and daddies that were innocent, and moms coming in getting shot by a drive-by stray bullet. So we'll move on, and hence we forget to digress when we do this, that in this bill, I will further say, and leave it alone, Clinton planned in his mind that Gore would be president.
And fix it.
Yeah, and we know what happened with that election in Florida as we move forward. But the point is, people, I think when you speak, sometimes get, like we tell them, we spoke about Kamala, know what you're talking about.
Right.
Every aspect of it.
Here in Los Angeles, they visited this concept of reappropriating where the money's going. They're not having much success. And the reason why they're not having much success is because 52% of the budget is for the police department. These were negotiated resolutions between the city and the police union. So they went back to the union and said, we need to, reshuffle some of this stuff. And it means we're going to have to pull some money so we can redirect the money. And the union said no. Now what you going to do? So what I say is, call me crazy, but what I know is you didn't hear about a whole lot of shooting and craziness when we were all in the streets from March to June down there saying Black Lives Matter, say their names. No justice, no peace.
Mm-hmm.
Walk out. I don't care if every damn cop here walks out. Walk out. Go on strike. Get fired. Let's build from scratch. I don't care. We shouldn't be blackmailed.
No, you are absolutely right.
Because they have lost the right. They have lost credibility. The police polling nationwide, the police are polling only in the 30s in approval. It is the first time ever they're polling low. And it's because social media keeps showing the pictures, showing the videos. Ridiculous bullying. You can't say nothing to me about the police. I have friends who are police. They can't say nothing to me about it either.
I think it's even more ridiculous because they it's sad because they tried to hide how much I was researching it, how many lives have been lost, under the hands of police brutality. And I found
what they lied about.
Yeah, and they lied about it.
We don't know about that didn't get caught on video.
I mean, before we watch this video, speaking of which, when you're speaking about Black Lives Matter, that was formed in 2013, the funny part about it is right now they're the vocal part of the movement. They're the most important, integral part of it, as they say in the U.S., by organizing die-ins, marches, and demonstrations in response to the killing of Black men and women by police. While Black Lives Matter has become a controversial movement in the U.S., it has brought more attention to the number of frequency of police shootings of civilization, you know what I mean, at a time when needed. And as you said, now as we say, and Annika would say, when you're driving down when you're driving down, and now you can see Black Lives Matter flashing. And I think I'm probably going down Manchester or Florence, but I know you're going down and you see that. I'm like, what the, okay. And then as I said, I saw a commercial. I think it was a Macy's, fact check me. But they did, the way they did it and then closed it with Black Lives Matter. I'm like,
you can't watch a Laker basketball game and not see Black Lives Matter on the court.
Come on.
The court.
We doing something. But it tells you that the times it scares. I don't want to scare none of you white supremacists, but it looked like, the times they are changing.
Well, and then you got that organization. I can't remember. Their initials are NFAC, and they're a Black militia.
Is it NAFCA, something like that?
In fact, something like that, yeah.
Oh, Antifa
are citizens who simply make themselves present to protect other citizens from being attacked by the police. They're not even a formal organization. They don't have a charter. They don't collect money. They are anti-fascists.
So why were they trying to say, the reason I missed the word anti, and I'm sorry, but why during the time when they were marching about George Floyd and they were showing these people tearing up stuff and trying to set off bombs, and they were saying it was Antifa?
They lied. There is no Antifa. There is no organization called Antifa. There's no organization called Antifa.
See, we learned something because I was speaking it on the show. And
Antifa is short for anti-fascists.
Okay.
And the fascists are the occupying army in our community, otherwise known as the police. But they act like an occupying, oppressive army. The history of the police in this country, they were formed as slave catchers. That's why in this country, you can become a cop being 18 years old with 26 weeks of training. Every other country that's civilized, you have to study for years. Years. Small wonder you don't have the kind of murder rate by the police that we suffer in this United States.
Wow. I'm going to take a break and we're going to watch the video because I was telling you about, all
the way off.
No, because we still educate. But one thing about it, I was telling you about Cohen. Michael Cohen brought his butt on Rachel Maddow, which I was glad. And I don't want to say it like that because right now I'm feeling Michael Cohen and the book. And we were talking, we're not going all off because it all is still in the play. The jealousy, the supremacy, all of this, we wouldn't have this conversation if all of this wasn't going on, every bit of it. We're talking about that and fascists and all this because they are and are still, committing heinous crimes against us. And it's sad when the one you think that should protect you, I couldn't even make a phone call if someone broke in my home, I would be scared. That's sad. The one you think that you can call, because you say, I'm going to call the police. Now it's like, I'm going to call. Well, who you going to call? It's like nobody. It's a ghost because it don't exist. Right. But the video we're going to watch is with Cohen. We were talking about 45, But only this part, the reason I was putting them together, connecting them, meaning 45 and 44, which is 44 is amazing, Barack Obama, is that every time we looked up, if something happened, he pointed to Barack. And Quan even spoke on that he had a name. He was only going to call him Barack Hussein. Or Hussein, insane or whatever. But the thing was, we all saw the obsession. It got to the point we was like, if Trump, with the tissue he had on his shoe, I said, Obama must have ran in the bathroom and stuck it there.
I've never heard a president keep referring to their predecessor with the obsession that Trump has.
It's a sickness.
As Obama's prior press secretary said, he said Obama's been living in Trump's head for the last 10 years rent-free.
Rent-free. And you're right. And it started with the birther movement. That's why I was telling people, make sure that you guys get out and read the first white president, the essay, because it's worth it. Not because of 45, it's what you learn. Because it's not just about him. It's about people. It's about America. And the way we see things and how we and us. And it makes me think about Eddie Glaude when he said, this is us. This is us. So it ain't just 45. It is us and the way we think. So we're going to take a short break. We're going to see what Corn had to say. And I'm going to tell you this, Trump. I don't understand, but I believe in my spirit. If you went to bed tonight and woke up in the morning as Barack Obama, you would be the happiest man in the world. There'll be no more problems, no more worries, and you would give everything you had to be him. Whew. That's something else. Never. Ever.
Even come close.
Not near. So we're going to watch a little bit of the video and what Corn had to tell Rachel about his obsession with Obama.
There is something that you describe in terms of the president's mindset that stuck with me in a way that I feel like it resonates as very true, and I can't quite put my finger on how it works. And it's about the birtherism thing, about what you describe as his obsession with President Obama and his sort of almost desperate need to undercut President Obama in some way. And you said that in the book that the president didn't necessarily actually believe that President Obama was born in a foreign country, but he liked the effect that it had for him to advance this theory. On page 114 of the book, you said he liked doing things like that, quote, the more divisive, the better, because it would arouse strong feelings for those who took his side. I think a lot of us observing the Trump presidency have seen how incredibly divisive he is, how he tries to pit people against each other whenever he can. Why does that redound to his advantage? How does that work in his favor?
Donald Trump is like a cult leader, and he's very Stalinistic in the fact that he repeats things over and over and over again with the theory that if you continuously say the same thing over and over, people will start to believe it. I talk about a lot of his sort of proclivities and the things that he thinks and how he thinks. If you look at just the books that have come out recently, Mary Trump's book, Stephanie Winston Wolkoff's book, my book, it's kind of like the trifecta of truth. We all seem to be pointing to the same thing. He is devoid of empathy. He doesn't care what he says. He doesn't care who gets hurt so long as he wins. And when he saw that his poll numbers and his popularity and the number of times that he's gracing the front cover of the newspaper is increasing, he just added on to it. All of a sudden, he was sending people to Hawaii to go check. That's a lie. He never sent anybody anywhere, right? He just said it, and everybody sort of bought into it. Of course, Donald Trump sent somebody. He's rich, right? Who wouldn't send somebody if you want to prove your point? Well, Donald Trump didn't do it because he didn't want to spend the money, and he didn't believe it. His hatred for Barack Obama is plain and simple. He's black. He went to Harvard Law. He graduated the top of his class. He's, incredibly articulate. And he's all the things that Donald Trump wants to be, right? And he just can't handle it. So what do you do if you can't handle it? And you're Donald Trump, you attack it.
Okay, now, Denise.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know that With Cohen, let me ask you something. Being that he's just speaking, he's doing this tour. Do you believe him?
Do I believe what?
Cohen.
Yeah, totally. It's very interesting because both Melania's best friend,
yeah,
and Cohen, these are like, and Mary Trump. They are spilling everything out of a sense of betrayal and rage, and when you've been scorned and burned like that. I mean, the split between Cohen and Trump happened when Cohen was arrested and was going broke defending himself, and Trump wouldn't lift a finger for him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
He was going to let him lose everything and still wanted him to fall on his sword and die on his behalf. This best friend of
Melania
is talking about how she thought Melania was one of them, and not really a Trump.
She was a ride or die. She thought she was a friend.
It was a ride or die. And then when this thing went down with the inauguration and all the millions of dollars that they cannot justify how it got spent and on what, and they threw her under the bus and pointed at her. But they couldn't build enough evidence to bring charges against her. But her reputation was shredded. The level of betrayal she feels behind that is why she's stepping up. All these people have been betrayed by this family. They have no values other than themselves and their own advancement. And then to hear Cohen talk, he treats his kids like they ain't nothing. These are abused kids.
That's what Cohen said. And the funny thing was they were talking like, I was looking because I'm sorry, I stay on watch. I'm gonna stay on watch till this is over, cause I gotta make sure. Bible said, watch, wait, and pray. See, so I'm watching and I'm praying. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, what shocked me was the way that, Melania has. She also exposed this, but we already knew this. It's a weird thing, and that's also in one of the articles I was reading. How Trump, and I think it's in the white. It is in this, white president. How he speaks of his daughter as a nice piece of butt. It's the things that he does, but on top of that, the thing that you saw, and you saw it, we all saw it. If you're a watcher and you pay attention and you're looking at TV when they had the Republican convention, because I watched some of it. I tried to stomach as long as I could each day. Mm-hmm. But when she walked by, and then that look that Melania gave because she thought she should have stopped and stood beside her. And not only that, the walk by was like a dismissal of like, you're nothing, And again, my thought is when I'm listening to this, if that's how you treat your wife, and you really treat your children, the only one, if we are listening to Mary Trump, that can get her way with dad is Ivanka.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that part there, we don't want to give them too much time in our head, but that thing there kind of hit me too. And then so I'm thinking, when I think about Cohen, and I'm thinking about what he said, I believe every bit of you, because you're right. The malice, the thought that Cohen really believed that Trump would be
his father.
That's the thing. He was going to be.
So here's the pattern. She betrayed her best friend. He betrayed Cohen. Mm-hmm. He betrayed his brother's family, Mary Trump being the niece. And at the end of the day, because people are consistent, he betrayed his followers, knowing they could die. Breathing the very air and having those big darn gatherings and encouraging them, go to school, go to clubs, go party, go to basketball games, go to football games. I want the Big Ten. Knowing, but because he needs that adulation like a madman, he'll make sure he's okay because he gets tested every day. He's taking crazy medication every day. but he'll let his followers die to feed his ego by giving him the adulation he needs. I'm telling you, there are some very sick people in charge of this country right now.
And the people that are with him, I'm going to call you out. Step out. It's like there's a young lady that stepped down and she was speaking and she said, put a conscience in front of you. Not the money, not worried about who's going to speak to you, who's not going to talk to you, who's going to shine you. Do you have a conscience? Because I did. I couldn't take it anymore. And the thing about this is,
and she had voted for Trump. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and she was letting them know.
In Homeland Security, Department of Security.
And see, the funny thing is, then when they asked his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, because Jared, now he looks like Satan to me. I'm sorry. But at one point before he came in, all of them look like death row back. This is what scares me. They all look like death row backwards since they've been with Trump. The ones that leave start to look like they're living again. And the thing about it, when they said the way he described his father-in-law, it was like Alice in Wonderland. Mm. And so Don Lemon was like, what the heck? So, but he asked the young lady, and she said she tried her best to justify it by saying Trump is in this fantasy world, and they feel like they're all just in this world with him. Here's the thing where we're going before we take a break. Fantasy. Fantasy is not over 6 million people infected with a disease, really a virus, and the virus is so serious. Until when you catch it, even if you survive it, your body is not the same anymore.
That's right.
I had Cuomo listen to him break down everything he's feeling. Right. And now they're saying if any of us may have had it and we carry the antibodies, then you're still having some issues, but not like the 19. There was COVID, then COVID-19.
Right.
And another young lady who is definitely on the panel had COVID. And right. She was speaking about having, the after effect. So let's come on out of fantasy world, because you can't live there knowing. And the people you said, like I said, if I'm following you and I'm giving you everything and I believe in everything in you, the buck first, it would have started with the way you felt about veterans. Because if you got a family, my uncles served in the service. What I'm saying is you're not going to find a family. Very seldom, unless it's the weird ones like Trump, who we know is true. That's why Kelly ain't coming out, because you know yourself. If he also told on himself because it was part of the agreement in the marriage with Tiffany's mother. If she joined any part of the service, he was going to cut her off. So all these things, people have their receipts. Receipts mean recordings of proof. You can fact check them. So, but you're saying, Denise, I keep going around the bush. I got to hit hard with these people, these Trump supporters. This man didn't do this. See, COVID does not give a damn about what color you are, or let's say what race you are,
what party you're in.
No. Who you support or love, none of that. It doesn't care anything about anything. It's a virus. It's unhuman. It has no idea where it's headed. It just hits the next target and keep moving. We have 6 million, over 6 million that have been infected. And I'm right now, we're at over 200,000 in deaths. None of these people asked for this. And he outright, and we're going to show that later, in his own words now is saying, man, this disease is killing people. And it's something. And he telling it to Woodward. But see, with Woodward. But the thing about it was, had he just wrote it in the book, we probably would have been like, it's a lie. But it's in his voice because he had recordings, what I call receipts. And every morning now, all I hear is this. So now you still following him. What do you call that, Denise, if they're still following?
A cult.
That will go to death. So we looking at Jim Jones.
Yeah.
So they drank. And remember, he made the comment, he drank the Kool-Aid.
Because please understand, there's other elements at play in our society. We had a black man become president. We have people on TV and interracial couples, gay couples, pose. But I mean, the true American culture, what America really is, and they don't feel like they have a place in it. They feel small. They don't feel visible and scary and in charge. And there's a whole lot going on with them Confederate flag wavers.
Did you see how you connected what my topic is? That's why I had you on. You said we went all over the place, but everything you say sums up fear, jealousy. You understand what I'm saying? Hatred first, fear, then hatred, because like you said, where do I fit in? You're scared when you don't fit somewhere.
And please understand, in their heart of hearts, if you take away their anger, because that's what Trump plays to, that's why he's warning them about law and order and keeping fair housing out of the suburbs, because that means, I'll make sure the Black people don't come in your neighborhood and lower the price of your homes, not knowing we're already there. We are professionals now. We are in the suburbs now, you stupid fool. But he's living in a different time in his mind. And Michael Cohen said, you get around him and you get caught up in the cult. They're caught up. He's going down because he's not appearing, he believes. But what he doesn't understand is that those people, those frightened, lost people who, if they give up their sense of superiority, they don't know what to replace it with. That's what's frightening. They don't know if they give up their resentment, if they give up their jealousy, if they give up their fear, if they give up their self-righteous anger at how we are advancing. They don't know what to replace it with. You know what they're going to replace it with? Deep sadness.
But it doesn't have to be that way.
All the energy and time they've wasted. When you talk to these guys who've been in those skinhead groups, they talk about the deep remorse for the evil things they've done.
You speak like you believe that they can change, Denise.
Anyone can change.
Oh, I love that. We're gonna break with that. We're gonna do a short commercial, come back. I gotta support my candidate. If he wasn't my candidate, he damn sure he is now, but he has been anyway. And once he threw Kamala Harris into the ring with him and they joined hands, yes they did. We're gonna pretend they were able to hold him. Because of COVID they couldn't, but they're on the prowl. It made me one of the happiest women around, and Denise, she cried. So the old Joe Biden, I want you to see how old he supposedly is, because he's doing something we never seen Trump do.
Some people are always in a hurry. They run when they could walk, race up steps when others take it slow. When Joe Biden's president, America is just going to have to keep up. We won't have to wait to deal with COVID-19. He's already got a plan. Won't have to wait for a president on the side of working families. He's from Scranton. No one has to tell him Wall Street didn't build this country. He knows who did. We're a nation that's been hit hard by this virus. But Joe Biden knows when you get knocked down, you get up off the mat. No one needs to tell Joe how hard life can hit you. Losing a wife, a daughter, a son. But he knows it's in the pain you can find purpose. To lead America, you need to understand America.
America's an idea stronger than any army, more powerful than any dictator or tyrant. It gives hope to the most desperate people on earth.
And it's an idea as alive and powerful today as it was when it was first proposed.
The most powerful idea in the history of the world, I think, beats in the heart of the people of this country. No matter your race, your ethnicity, no matter your gender identity, your sexual orientation, no matter your faith, it unites America. Whether your ancestors were native to these shores, whether they were brought here forcibly and enslaved, whether they're immigrants from generations back, or those coming today looking to build a better life for their families.
Our best days are not behind us. They're ahead.
In times as challenging as these, I believe there's only one way forward. As a united America, united in our dreams of a better future for us and for our children. This is our moment, this is our mission, and we'll do it together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
So anyway, yeah. So that was that commercial was heavy too, because Biden was running like hell, doing everything, acting so young and looking good, and this was recently. But anyway, Denise, you hit something, and it was a powerful way to stop and take that break. It truly was, because I asked you, did you think that they could change? You said anyone can change, and see, you spoke on what Black America carries within their heart. You know what I mean? And I wish we use a lot of it up though on white America. I wish sometimes we could use more on each other. And I'm gonna speak that's truth to power, because you don't talk and talk about one person. I'm speaking truth, because a lot of things they wouldn't have to do or wouldn't try to do with us if we were more together. So let's own some things too in order to really fix. If we want them to heal, we got to heal. And this is also something in a way they created and we're still doing, because it was created. But the thing about it is, it's like Mike said, yes, Michael Jackson, not Mike, my cameraman, don't be getting happy, Mike, is that you got to look at the person in your mirror when you really want to make a change. And that's each and every one of us. Black, white, Jew, anything. To make the real change, you got to look at yourself first and work on that. And Denise believes and speaks, because there are people that said, I've had friends that said, I used to think that way. I'm sorry I did. And I really do have some people that said it. And I do believe we can change, because we first have to look at ourselves. Some of us have done things and had people give up on us. If there were not so, we wouldn't have songs like he saw the best in me when everyone else around could only see the worst in me. Because we have the ability and the power to change. We just have to want to. Now, the thing about this is, we just saw Joe Biden, and everything, and he was looking all young and ready, running and everything, looked like he's ready. Here's where we are with the thing about voting. First, I want you to put up again that voting chart. God, I don't think you were on that show, Denise, and you were not. I don't think you were, where it showed how many people voted. Let me go over.
You're talking about by state?
State to state, well, just really major states that Hillary Clinton, honest to God, it was that Hillary could have won.
I saw that. I've seen that chart. I know what you're talking about.
And Trump, like I said, he took, basically what happened was, he was the one that ended up winning by small margins, I would say. Yes. But the problem about it was, like in Florida, Miami, almost 500,000 people did not vote. Almost 500,000 people did not vote. And I think he won by like 217. I don't want to allow him to quote me, because the chart is going to show you. But the point is, when you look at the chart, I want to make sure we have an understanding about this damn chart. What were we thinking? And I remember, Denise, seeing something on your site. And on that site, you honestly were speaking about, you were saying about voting and how that Black America needed to show up and vote. Do you remember saying that?
Of course.
Okay. I asked you that question for a reason, because when you kept saying it, I knew that, trust me, when you speak, I listen. But when you were saying it, my thought was, it couldn't have been that bad. You know what I mean? I'm just speaking truth to power. I was thinking, this man, don't jump on my throat, I know. But I was just thinking that, maybe she's right, but we're not that stupid. So, maybe this is not what she's saying it is. You get what I mean?
Well, the thing to understand, I don't care about the polls. Mm-hmm. I care about the Electoral College. We've gotten very sophisticated to understand that. And the truth of the matter is, Trump won by 77,000 votes, period, in the states with the Electoral College. 3 states.
Was Wisconsin one of those?
Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Ohio.
Okay.
Now, Biden is blowing them away in those states.
But we need to make sure we still reinsert that our Black Americans get out and vote, because in Wisconsin,
we could have made the difference with the 77,000.
93,000 in Milwaukee, which is Wisconsin alone, didn't vote of Blacks.
End of discussion.
End of discussion. But please let me
We
say
won Wisconsin by less than 1%. It was like 10,000 votes, period. So, you know, what I want to tell people is, when you go to the Biden website and you give $5, like just give $5. If you give $1, before you know it, you're going to get a text message saying, "Hi,
I got one.
would you be willing to help us make some phone calls to get the vote out?" I say yes. Then they send you a link. I want to call those states, because I'm not worried about California. When someone in California tells me they voting for a third party or they voting for Trump, I'm like, fine, I don't care. Do what you want to do, because it don't matter. You voting against Biden in this state don't matter. But I'm talking to, I got people in Texas, I got family in Texas, I'm making sure they're voting and talking to their people. I got people in Pennsylvania, I got people in Arizona. We have to talk to our people, because if they're being middle of the road or complacent,
yes,
we have to be willing to listen. You can't be impatient and say, how can all this be out there and you still like, my vote don't count? How can you say that? You can't. We cannot attack when it's time to educate with love.
You have to vote like your life depends on it. And it's not just one race.
But we're up against, particularly with young people, we're up against my vote don't matter. That it don't matter what I do, ain't nothing going to change. That's also why we have this depression in our community, that we're preying on each other and hurting each other. And a whole segment of our population has given up trying. And this COVID-19, I think something like 40% of all small businesses owned by Black people are gone and will never come back.
Never come back. They can build it to something else, but that's gone. And that's sad.
And only 12% of small Black businesses that applied for those relief money from the government to keep their businesses going during this time, only 12% of Black people who applied got it.
But let me ask you this, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I want to ask, do you think some of it is, do you think some of them had everything they needed in order?
No.
You know what I mean? Like when you're doing business, sometimes you take for granted certain things that you may need to prove.
Most small Black businesses, I can't speak about any others.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm confident in this arena. They just make enough to pay their staff and have a decent living. They don't have, where I work, there's hundreds of employees, hundreds, and it's considered a small business. Most Black businesses, maybe they got a dozen people.
And that's what we consider small business, yeah.
If they're lucky that many. They don't have a big bank account and all kinds of assets that they can show the ability to, pay the loan back right away. No,
and they don't have all the paper. The accountant they can hire that can help them get the paperwork in order.
The way it was set up was not set up to aid the small community business.
Well, guys, one thing I am going to be doing for you, since Denise brought that up, and that is the truth, we're going to be definitely bringing people. I got some people already that are going to be coming forth to help you get business loans, know how to start a business, and know the proper steps, so that when something like this happens again, you'll be already set up to stay up and keep going.
And in this next round, just FYI, Congress, after realizing the way the criteria was set up, it kept people of color out of getting those loans, they have redone the criteria. So if you've been turned down before, go back. Try again.
Tell her. See what I'm saying? See?
Don't give up.
She done told you, go back. And we're going to definitely, that's what my show is here for, to bring things that you need. And that is definitely on that criteria.
Push through your depression and your lack of belief. Try one more time. Don't give up.
Because really, and I like saying when you say that, sometimes you speak to everybody. It's at the darkest hour when that light's about to shine. And it's when you feel like you can't give no more. And that's when the miracle is about to happen. And it's the truth. That's when it's waiting for you. So she's right. And the depression is all the years. We understand everything. Don't think we're just saying it like, oh, no. We know it's hard. We know it's hard to probably have had something 10 years strong.
Yeah.
And you did nothing wrong and this happened. And
right.
Bringing me to another question. We're going to show a little bit of this clip with we're going to show a little clip by Rage, because we're going to talk more about, because we talk about people lost their businesses doing all this stuff. This is the last little bit we're going to talk about, but we're going to hit why, because I want you to tell me what you think should be done to Trump and that administration. And guys, let's hear some more about Ray. Come on, Woody. I call him Woody. We partners like that. Tell me what he did now.
There is damning proof that Donald Trump lied and people died.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't want to create a panic.
He lied to the American people. He knowingly and willingly lied about the threat it posed to the country for months. He had the information. He knew how dangerous it was.
I cannot believe he deceived the American people the way he did. How many people would still be alive today if he just told Americans the truth?
The bombshell hadn't hit me yet.
I can read you the excerpt and
That's
you can
okay.
respond to it.
I'll read it first. I always like to kind of have, my firsthand kind of impression of it.
I haven't read the book.
I didn't look at the Woodward book. I will later, but I haven't even seen what you're referring to yet.
Now remember, Lindsey Graham is supposed to be a Republican, so why would he do something like that? You'd have to ask him. But keep in mind that Lindsey Graham has passionately opposed, virtually every major policy initiative that Donald Trump articulated when he first ran, from ending illegal immigration, to pulling back from pointless wars, to maintaining law and order at home.
I don't want people to be frightened. I don't want to create panic, as you say. And certainly I'm not going to drive this country or the world into a frenzy. We want to show confidence.
So now, Denise, knowing vocally that 45, who is the elective president of the United States, chief, who holds all of, really, whether we believe it or not, I think people need to get the gist of this, because you and I do. He holds our lives in his hands. And that's sad to me, because I told someone with COVID, the depression thing, my anger, my mom had COVID and she has anger like I've never known anyone to have, to the point where I had to talk her off the ledge about voting, about everything, and she's never been like that.
Right.
And I realized that at 70 and surviving it, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It does something to you. And I can't say, Mom, you have other effects. But the thing is, it's the control, like she said. Some other person having control over my life, the life God gave me. So when we listen to this out of his words, Denise, and this is his words. Ain't nobody fake this, or no, it is not. It's you. This is him.
Right.
And he's saying, man, this is happening. This is real. And then but you hear this and you come back over here It's a hoax. It's a hoax. It's going to just disappear. Point is, then you come back over here and you hear this footage. You hear his voice. You know it's him. And he's admitting, I know. Okay, you knew. Now, why did not anything in your mind say maybe after, they said if he had reacted even what was it, 2 months? Could have saved, what, 30-some thousand lives? So, talk for me. Because see, what I want to say, fuck it. Here's what I want to say. Here's what I want to say. That's some trifling bullshit. This is one time y'all gonna get the real from Dionne. If you don't curse, don't like it, then you bleep me. You owe life. You right now, y'all are pulling people over, black men and women over, harassing them. We got a man sitting in jail. Honest to God, Bill Cosby, I'm gonna say, y'all sick of me saying this, and I'm not saying he innocent. But I am saying y'all could find everything about this man over 33 years back to put him in jail. This man, and he's sending your children back to school. They have a statement where he's saying the children can't catch it. But the thing about this is, when Joe Biden said, God, I love him. They said, Joe, why don't you get mad? He said, I am. But I got to be better than him. Now, here's where, Michelle, I went a little low when I should have went high. But Denise going to go high because I went low for her. That's who I did it for. You know. And I saw Denise, I saw you, seriously, I saw my boy, Juice. By the way, I love seeing the young men when they are on it and about it. Mm-hmm. And he was even speaking on the lie and the deception. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? On Facebook. And I saw his name and I said, wow, do you understand that if all of us took our ass up to the White House and stormed and knocked that bitch down and pulled him out and beat the shit out of him, we all have the right. Am I right? Please, because Annika couldn't come in. I wanted her to tell me, Dionne, that might be illegal. And I ain't said kill him. I said beat the shit out of him.
So I think without a doubt, there will be some retribution felt during the debates. I know, because don't forget, we ain't mentioned this, but he put Pence in charge of this COVID campaign. Pence was supposed to be organizing everything and making sure America was safe. He gave it to Pence. Then when he started going down in the polls, he started showing up and talking like he's all in charge. So I believe without a doubt that there will be some moments during the debates when we will see both of these people taken to the tool shed and whipped royally like your grandma would do for the evil.
Let them get their own switch too, like my grandma made me.
There's no other description for what they've done other than it's evil. He's willing for his own people to die. His own people, he's willing to bring them all together. His man, Herman Cain, brought all those black people to Tulsa and died.
And nobody girl, I did a parody about that one, but nobody showed up. And then they didn't even want, when he first died, they didn't want him to speak his name. And no one from the Republican Party, from there, showed up for his funeral. And Cain leaned back like a pimp, looking and smiling, healthy. But you knew you had cancer and beat it. Stage 4. But that goes back to the young lady that touched my soul in the convention, Democratic convention. That said my dad's only illness was trust in Donald Trump.
His only pre-existing condition
was believing what he said. Yeah. Help me, because you know they gonna fact. Let me ask you this: do you think, because Joe Biden is asking for them to fact check the debate? Now
I said that weeks ago.
He's asking for it, and like I said, fact check me on that. But I really read that he is asking. But I think
he said it kind of tongue in cheek, you know. that he would like that if that could occur.
It can occur. It can occur. They're going to fact check it after anyway. If you do that, Joe, fact check. Have them there. You can do that.
Please understand, A, we may love him, but B, Joe's a politician too, and C, he also will get fact checked. I don't think you can compare.
Not at all. I'll take 3 or 4 years against Donald Trump's 108.
Oh, for sure.
You know.
But I mean, as much as I like MSNBC, when it comes to the debates, I tend to watch CNN because they have an audience that's scoring how what's going on in debate affects them. So I like to watch that because I like to see how people are reacting. But I would love it if they would fact check. They need to fact check because everybody knows he's a liar.
That's why I want it.
People know he's a liar. And like I said more than a month ago, I think when I was on here, at least a month ago, that he should demand the fact check of the debate. And if they won't concede fact checking, then he should say this will be a waste of my time because it's a waste of America's time.
That's what Nancy Pelosi, that's what the thing she was trying to say when they were saying, she was saying don't debate him. She was saying don't give him no air because he's only going to lie and keep perpetuating what's going on. So that's why I said fact check, because see, this is where his people will be watching it.
But I say let Pence and Kamala debate because she will take him to the tool shed.
Oh, they're going to debate, aren't they?
Yeah.
Did Pence drop out?
They have a debate in October.
Okay, and then Joe Biden and Trump are going to debate when?
I think their first one is in September.
Okay, because I
think
it's this month too. That's what I was thinking, but I have to look because I was going to look this week and start because I want to start.
I mean, when you think about it, in the last 2 weeks, you had Mary Trump, The Atlantic magazine, Cohen, Woodward. They are coming for him.
I want him to debate him tomorrow. Because see, Joe mad like I am. And so Joe would eat him up right now. And Trump, so the problem was Joe could throw in those questions at him so hard until it wouldn't even be no room.
Well, it's interesting because Trump, even though he has one of the debates is being moderated by a Fox News person. Another one is Kristen Welker from MSNBC. I don't remember who the person is from CNN, but Trump's reaction was, wouldn't none of those people be my choice? He's already, setting the ground because his calling card, his common denominator with his followers is, look how persecuted I am. I saw this video of this white woman saying, all those niggas want is everything free. Free, I work, but they want everything free. That's his calling card. Look how I'm persecuted. I work so hard.
But the woman that says she worked, does she work with any black people? Or all the white folks that working with her?
It don't matter.
No, for me, because if you said that to me, I'd be like, well, when you go to your job, how many blacks do you see there? And on my thing of a job, and I know, now I'm gonna say it, jobs I've had, don't be smiling. I'm free, eyes free now. But no, jobs I've had, we did 98% of work for way less pay. If they found out you could do one thing, you end up doing that thing, you had that job, but they didn't call you in to give you no more money for it. You understand what I'm saying? See, the mask are off. The truth is the light. It ain't about that. If I cross that path, then God sent me there, and it must be for a reason. I'm speaking truth to power, though. The majority of black people bust our ass on these jobs. If we don't have some white counterpart come in and take the job from us, or them choose some younger person and put above us for us to train, or they give us something for a little bit of nothing and say, do you want title or money? What kind of bullshit is that? Do I want the title or the money? Shit, the title ain't worth a damn because it's a title. The money ain't gonna be shit either. Because it's $1. And that's something you would never insult. I mean, I'm talking about I've worked jobs, had positions, and the people have a senior position or have a higher position, and the person that they're training or they're guiding every day making more money than them. So when she say that, again, you talking something, sweetie, you could never never endure, you people, you young, that y'all say you people could never endure what we've endured. And sometimes we go home, shed a tear, and know we got to go back the next day because we want to make sure little Johnny or little Cameron get to college.
But you know, we also been raised being told we got to be better than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been raised being told
they are better.
They can trade. Yeah, they can trade on being white.
They got the complexion for the protection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got the complexion for the protection. That's fine.
And their life experience bears that out as true.
Mm-hmm. That's part of 45's problem, because I think nobody ever took a belt to ass or did anything to make him feel, because, you know, and that's the thing. Now, before we close this out, we said jealousy and supremacy for a reason. And whether you guys think we didn't or not, we did give you reason for the conversation. And if you want us to sum it up, I'm going to say my psalm, Denise is going to say her psalm, and then we're going to give y'all some good words of wisdom. And somewhere in those words of wisdom better be vote, you know. And Denise and I are going to start wearing our vote shirts through the last of it. I thought I had that covered, but she's a little bitty thing. So anyway, word to the wise, never have your better half help you pick out something. Call your host, your co-host and friend and ask, say, what's your size? You kind of tiny and little, and and everything, and make sure, because we really want y'all to understand the power of the vote.
Did you show that the picture I sent you?
Girl, she screamed. And we're going to keep this in here too. She screamed. And I said, and I just looked at her. You know that look you give them? Like, like you get Wilfred. Like, well, yeah, right. Yeah. Love should have made you tell me right. So, yeah. But the thing about it, we say this. Here's my thought about it. Then Denise, of course, I'm going to always give you my country ghetto fascist way of things, because I got to be me. But I do feel like, and this is for white supremacy. So don't be trying to wear a size 7 shoe if you in a 10. Like she done insulted all of us. You're damn lie. And I told you. What I'm saying is, you are jealous. And it is an illusion that you do carry. And the sad part about it is, even from the moment you brought many over on the boats, and you did this and you sold them, and my understanding what Trump trying to give us about what they were selling them for. But that man that you sold had so much strength he could break you in half. That man could run so fast until you had to hire another African to catch him when you got him. I know your white ass went over there running to catch that man. So the point is, and it was so bad to keep proving it, that black woman was made up so special and so good that you had to sneak in at night and snatch her from her husband and rape her. Hence why Denise, we have so many fair-skinned people. And it's the truth. Now here we come, and you see the black brother, and he's doing well in life, and you see the black woman, and she's doing well. And a lot of them are choosing our races and nationalities. I begin understanding why we're the melting pot. I say that because we learned that love, like Anita Baker would say, the heart knows only another heart. So there we have what she called, with the LGBTQ community, as well as with races. You have Asians with blacks, blacks with Jews, whites, and blacks. It's a mixture. It's the melting pot that God meant for it to be in the first place. But the white supremacy, who is supreme, believes that he's dying out. There's no place for him. This is his last hoorah. Then we brought in white president, white fool, who screamed out a horn of hope for you. And when that horn sounded, all the chains and shackles came out for you, because America had put a muffle on your mouth and a lean on your arm where you had to play along to get along. And you also wore your mask. But deep inside, your fears and truth came out. Now here we stand in the 20th century, and we're in 2020 in another civil rights point where the reality now, the truth that none of us could see is so bad that the eyes are green. I see the green in your eyes. I don't care how blue somebody tell you they are. We see the green in your eyes. And jealousy is the worst, because it's the one that will take someone and put a gun in his back and shoot him 7 times in the back. And my grandmother used to say, what a sad man to shoot a man in the back. At least let him face you and look him eye to eye. You did it. They did it here in California. The 7 didn't work. So there was a shooting here in California, in Los Angeles. They shot the man 20 times. One more would have been 21. That would have been 3 times 7. So that means you said we not killing them. 7 is not enough. So there has to be something real evil in there to do that to a man and leave him laying there. To shoot a man in front of his children in broad daylight. To put a knee in a man's neck and hold it there 8.46. And look dead into the camera and look like you are supreme. You're not supreme. You were jealous. That's called the green-eyed monster. And you become monsters, but you call us apes and animals. Show me some footage of us doing that. It's your time, Denise.
We need to understand that this country is healthier than it's been looking lately. We did elect Barack Obama twice. We did. And we took Hillary's election for granted. So our wake-up call is we as a people, and when I say we right now, I'm talking about progressive, forward-thinking people, regardless of your race. We learned a lot. Trump was there to wake us up, to help us understand who we really are and that we can take nothing for granted, ever, for the rest of our lives. And we cannot let the generations behind us take anything for granted for the rest of our lives. Everything matters. We cannot assume anyone's going to protect us. That's why you have to vote. You are obligated. You are obligated to stand for what you stand for, and you most best exercise what you stand for in the voting booth. And if you're not willing to do that, be quiet. If you're not willing to do that, be quiet. Don't even say it and discourage somebody else. We'll take care of you. You even can get the benefit once we do it.
I love it.
That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And guys, one thing about it, when we say supremacy, supreme, that's God. God is supreme. God is love. And that he's everything. So we're all his children, his creation. So we're all supreme. And if you're not a believer and you're an atheist, I'm like Denise. I'll worship for you. Because we're supreme. So when you say supremacy and all of this, go ahead. But I don't like you representing the wrong person, because you're really standing on the wrong line. You might want to try to look up some words that will go with devil and evil and all of those things. And let's get, I like correct. You know, I like, if my mom named me Sharon Dionne, then that's my name. And I want the real name. Don't call me Diane. I had a time when we were doing social media, we did Denise's name, and she said, you spelled it wrong. You left something out. It was Dennis. We put another in. And she's supposed to say that, because I'm not Dennis, I'm Denise. So what I'm saying is, you're not supreme. I'm not. There's only one supreme. There's a higher power. So do what you want, whatever floats your boat. I ain't walking around saying I am God. I am he, I am all. I'm just Dionne. But guys,
But the reporting just today, I mean, Woodward's book and everything else, I mean, any piece of this would be the defining, if not determinative, terminal scandal of any other previous president, including Nixon, probably including Agnew, even if they'd let him get that close. I mean, on top of all of this, just take the nuke thing. This is from the Washington Post write-up on what's in Bob Woodward's new book. I mean, this alone, listen to this, quote, in the midst of reflecting upon how close the U.S. had come in 2017 to war with North Korea, Trump revealed, quote, I have built a weapons system that nobody's ever had in this country before. We have stuff that you haven't even seen or heard about. We have stuff that Putin and Xi have never heard about before. There's nobody. What we have is incredible. Woodward writes that other sources later confirmed that the U.S. military does have a secret new weapons system, but they would not provide details. He also reports that the other sources he spoke to were surprised Trump had disclosed it. Now, I don't know what it is either, but if in fact we have new nuclear weapons capability that is unlike anything they've got in Russia and anything we've got in China and anything that has been disclosed to the world, if what he said to Bob Woodward is true and Woodward's other sources say it is, I'm quite sure that Donald Trump is not supposed to disclose that to Bob Woodward or to anyone else. I mean, with that comment alone, literally with that appearing in Bob Woodward's book, the president has just today launched he has just launched a new nuclear arms race, right?
We're shook now. We're really shook up now.
200 and some thousand shook.
We're really shook. And both sides. I mean, the good guys and the bad guys are shook up. And I'm hopeful of what's going to evolve out of this. It's going to be amazing.
Guys, I want y'all to listen to this woman. No, I know, I love it. It's not a fun. I want you to laugh, but it's a high level compliment. That's why I keep bringing her back, because sometimes a part of me wants that hope. You got to remember something. For me, what I do now is a dream, and I'm dreaming and living the dream slowly with a lot of work because of this lady on the other side. And she's hopeful not just for herself. This is what I'm trying to say. This is what America needs to be, though. She's hopeful for everybody.
Absolutely.
And that makes a difference. And this is what we need. She, look, the smile, the look, the eyes is genuine. She is hopeful that we're going to really have a brighter day. And by God, please, let's make sure people like this young woman, let's make them feel and rejoice in this hope. Yeah. Get your butt up, put your clothes on, get your double mask, grab your lunch bag, get you a little extra sandwich.
Some scrimp.
Yeah, some scrimp. And you get out there and you wait if you have to. If you want to mail it in and don't trust it, then you walk and take it to the place and turn it in. I'm understanding you can do that.
Yes.
Put the mask on and take it. You put the mask on to go to get tissue, to go to get your hair dye. Yeah, I gotta get it too. The point is, none of that matters if we vote like a life. 200 and some thousand lives. 6 million people infected. What do you need to see? Put it up, Mike. To make you know that our lives depend on this vote.
Like never before.
Like never. Say it again.
Like never before.
So we leave you with vote,
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 and vote again. But not like Trump tried to tell you to do. I'm saying get your butt out and vote. I'm not saying go vote and go vote and go vote. We do it right. But we vote. And we make sure within our power that vote gets where it needs to be. That we can get it there. If we got to wait in line, if you trust the mail system, send it early, because it is taking weeks. But if all else fails, and for me, I want young people, like she said, young people, you got a grandmother, auntie, or even if you know the lady. If they need help, if you put your mask on, Uber them, take them, let them go drop their vote out. I know they used to mail it. Let them go drop it off. Help. Young people, vote to work at these polls so these older people won't have to be there.
Juice is working at the polls.
And you see what Old Navy's doing. They're paying their employees to go work at the polls. Now you think your company will do that?
Pepsi Cola is paying its people to take the day off to vote.
I suggest most companies that really care do this. This is not about Republican or Democrat.
We need to make voting a national holiday, but that's a whole other conversation once we get past this.
Yes, once we celebrate the victory of this. Guys, it's been a wonderful night. We're going to leave you with some footage and everything and a little bit of hearing. We want to go out right honoring them, the heroes and everything and the people, innocent lives there. But again, we digress. We take a moment of silence to honor them. And we make sure that we honor ourselves and the people that we care about by placing a vote.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to quit saying it. By placing a vote. They died for you. And people have died. Innocent because they had no clue. They didn't know. They didn't ask for this.
Right.
So Denise and I will say again, as we say good night, vote.
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 Good night.
Good night. We got nothing but love for you. Remember this. Knowledge is your power. But love, that's everything. And we out.
Hi.
Hey.
Good morning. Hi.
What I remember from the campaign trail is even with a supportive family, it can still be grueling.
Yeah.
You got any tricks of the trade?
I work out every morning, regardless of how much sleep I've had. It's just the best way to start the day. For months, I couldn't find weights to order weights. They were sold out, so I had these liter water bottles that I filled, of course, with water and used them as hand weights.
That's resourceful. There were times where I was like in a little Iowa town, and the only treadmill was in the back of a beauty salon, and I'd be walking by, and women be looking, why is this guy there? Do you have like a playlist that you're working
I've got my playlist. You know, I love some Mary J. Blige. And also, you know what I really also, as a break in the day, I love is to FaceTime with the kids in my life and get a sense of the world through their eyes, you know, and talk to them. How are you feeling about things? What is your day like?
The other thing that I think is, for me was always great was those moments, and you never knew when they'd come, when you just have a conversation with, maybe it's a security guard in a building, or maybe it's some young kid who runs up and said they ran for, student council, and
that's right.
Do you have any advice? Right, just those small interactions, somebody one-on-one, right?
That's right, and those conversations, because also people of our country they really are full of hope. Right? There's a lot that gives them a reason to be concerned about the future, but there's also a lot that folks just carry in their hearts and their spirit that is truly born out of optimism. And so when you have those conversations and people share with you their hardships, but also they're there because they also believe that things are possible, that all things are possible. And I agree with you, those interactions, those one-on-one interactions really do inspire and help you to keep it real.
Right.
And obviously that is critical if we are to lead effectively.
Right.
So tell me about Joe and your relationship with Joe, and what do I need to know? Like, what's the thing about the ice cream? He loves ice cream. Tell me about that.
Well, listen, ice cream is big. But look, the main thing to know about Joe is that Joe has never lost his sense of why we do this. And we do it because of, for him, memories of his family back in Scranton, and then the people at Delaware that he represented, the folks on the Amtrak train he met each and every day. He's constantly aware that is why we do this, and that everything that comes up, his focus is going to be how's that going to help those people who sent him there. Now, what that means is that if you have a joint event, he may be taking a little longer than what appears on the schedule, because he will be talking to every single person.
But I love that about him too. I really do. And it's what the people deserve. It's what they want. Folks want to be seen, and Joe sees people through those aviator glasses and without them. He really does see people. It's a very special thing about him. Thank you so very much, Mr. President, and please thank the First Lady, Michelle, for me too. Thank you.
Mother Misty, I've got so much working against me. Mother Misty, I'm sorry, but she's running away with me. Tires screech in the distance, all regrets out the window. She said she had to go, she said she had to go. Counting stars in the distance, blowing smoke out the window. We may never come home, we may never come home. You stole our vows from the radio, your favorite James Taylor song, She said I'll never spend another night alone. We dance until we can't go on, Mother Misty, I've got so much working against me. Mother Misty, I'm sorry, but she's running away with me.
They say life is what you make it. I'm a